Well, I really think you have a lot of paid agitators, professional agitators in here, too, and I see it all over. And, you know, when you see signs and they're all identical, that means they're being paid by a source.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about NYPD arresting 300 so-called protesters at Columbia University after the so-called protests turned violent. Now, there's a lot I want to get into, but first things first, what you heard at the very beginning, of course, that was President Trump talking about the paid nature of this protest. Of course, when you have anything like this that's widespread and they have manufactured signs and all similar things that you wouldn't normally find on a college campus, that points to it being paid. Now, I don't know who's paying. I don't know why they're paying, but there is some actual organization beyond, oh, it's just kids at college. No. First of all, these are adults, and if they were engaged in the violence, they need to be locked up and actually sent to the penitentiary to make big rocks to little rocks if the crime calls for it. But, you know, it's New York, so I hope they get locked up, but we already saw Ilhan Omar's daughter get arrested and then released immediately. You pretty much got to get caught with a body in the trunk to go to jail in New York City nowadays. But before I go any further into it, let's get to a few videos. We're going to show some evidence of the organization. We're going to show a lot, but let's get to the news clip. Then we will get to everything else. And of course, I will link to this and everything in the description. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Officers in riot gear arresting dozens of student protesters on Columbia University's campus.
The NYPD cleared Hamilton Hall, where students had barricaded themselves as part of their demonstration. They occupied that building for more than 20 hours. Let's get right to Good Day's Briella Tomasetti. She is outside that Ivy League school with the very latest this morning. Briella, good morning.
Tashani and Dan, good morning to both of you. This was pretty much a last resort for the university. Officials did not want to usher in the NYPD to remove people by force, but say ultimately that had to be done when...
Let's pause right here. Now, if this was a bunch of quote unquote MAGA people, Trump supporters, Republicans, conservatives, as soon as the first quote unquote occupation started to take place, police, National Guard, whoever would have been caught down there and it would have been stopped immediately. It wouldn't have been allowed to just go on until it got to a point where they had to step in. It would have got nipped in the bud.
Protesters started to jeopardize others' safety. Safety again became a big question here. They were, remember, given a Monday deadline to take down the encampment or be suspended. However, they did not comply. The encampment now and all of those demonstrators have been removed from campus. Members of the NYPD rolled in on a Bearcat. Then entered through the windows of Hamilton Hall one by one, carrying zip ties and riot shields to clear out protesters who breached the building on Tuesday morning. Columbia administrators...
That's a pretty big presence. Look at this. Look at this screenshot right here. It's a pretty big presence. And like I said, that should have been the case from the very beginning, rather than allowing it to get to the point where it becomes dangerous. People might get hurt. Nip it in the bud and get them out of there.
Who breached the building on Tuesday morning. Columbia administrators gave officers the green light to enter campus and make dozens of arrests after demonstrators held 2 weeks of intense pro-Palestinian demonstrations and set up a massive tent encampment. Wow. The NYPD initially said officers wouldn't step foot on school grounds until it was asked to do so. Well, yesterday, the university did just that. A school spokesperson writing in a statement after the university learned overnight that Hamilton Hall had been occupied, vandalized, and blockaded, we were left with no choice. Video taken beyond the front gate shows officers breaking up a line of protesters who formed a human chain outside Hamilton Hall and yanking away metal tables and chairs used to block the entrance.
And there was also some chains. We're going to get to those in a minute if they don't show them right here in this video. I have a lot more to discuss, so let's keep on rocking.
Once inside the building, cops removed more furniture, climbed the stairs, and used hammers to unlock doors. The NYPD says there were no immediate reports of injuries, but Columbia President Manoush Shafiq expressed concerns that the occupation was led by individuals not affiliated with the university. Mayor Adams and NYPD top brass later acknowledged that professional agitators helped to fuel the demonstrations.
Okay, so just so you guys know, I'm not wearing a tinfoil hat. I'm wearing the ball cap, not a tinfoil hat. This was organized by professional people. You have NYPD, you have the local brass, you have the people at the school, the administration. They're all saying the same thing, that this was led by people who did not go to the school. Now, of course, you're going to have students participating in the protests, so I'm not trying to absolve them of responsibility, but there's more to it than just some kind of organic thing from the students at the school.
These external actors are obviously not students, and their presence on campus is a violation of Columbia's clearly stated policy. And they are actively creating serious public safety issues at these protests.
So that's that. Now we have more. We have a lot more to get into. This is at City College, CUNY, and you have Ami Horowitz being assaulted, you know, because that's what they do. They just assault people that are Jewish. They assault journalists.
Leave. Hey, don't hit me. The fuck out of here. Don't hit me. The fuck out of here. Don't hit me, motherfucker. My hands are up. Hands up, don't shoot.
So there's just an example of some of the violence that's going on. All right. And then going back to City College again, they had to take down the Palestinian flag because somehow, some way, people took down the American flag and put up the Palestinian flag. And now we got NYPD coming to yank down that. Shout out to the force. Is that Eric Adams right there? I can't even really tell. But whoever that was, shout out to him for yanking down. No, that's not Eric Adams. It's just, you know, one of the guys with the ball cap. Yanking down the Palestinian flag to put up the American flag. I made a joke on Twitter. I was like, I'm going to tell my kids that this was Iwo Jima. And shout out to the glee on my man's face right here for being able to put the American flag back up on the flagpole. Let's keep on moving. Now, this is what I was talking about as far as these chains. Okay, they had chains blocking the door. Let's watch some of this.
Tell us about this chain.
Yeah, so when we entered Hamilton Hall, this is not what students bring to school. Okay, this is what professionals bring to campuses and universities. These are heavy industrial chains that were locked with bike locks, and this is what we encountered on every door inside of Hamilton Hall. And so in order for our emergency services group to enter into the building, they had to first cut through these chains, but also get rid of debris and barricaded doors that were barricaded with refrigerators, vending machines, chairs, you name it. They pushed it up against those doors to try and stop us from coming in.
Now, you saw that, okay, we got chains, these big chains on the doors. Now, some are going to say, well, hey, ABO, these are bike locks and they sell them at Columbia, okay? Now, this is what this tweet is right here, all right? And this says, this bike lock is top recommended bike lock at NBC News, pure propaganda. First line is most cyclists I know have had their bike stolen from a college campus. And I guess New York, forget about it, Shane. $134 on Amazon, that's a lot of money. Okay, and it says, keep your bike safe with these staff favorite bike locks. And they say that you could get these at a discount from Columbia. But see, the issue is this person is trying to say, well, all these kids have these bike locks. It's not a thing that's brought in by outside protesters. Well, here's some evidence. Aside from what you heard about the mayor and the school administration and police saying that there were outside people, aside from that, here's some proof. Lisa Fithian was hired for her services. Shout out to Samira Khan for this post. Quote, one of the agitators was identified as Lisa Fithian, a professional protester who has been raising hell across the country across a myriad of movements since the 1970s. One of the agitators was identified, Lisa Fithian, etc. Lisa Fithian was also recently in Istanbul training the flotilla activists. The protests were not infiltrated. They were an op from the very beginning. The 6-hour training session in Istanbul is being given by Lisa Fithian, an American expert who has imparted this course hundreds of times to teach the peaceful resistance to groups around the world, including environmental activists and militant groups. Here's something interesting right here. Freedom Flotilla taking aid to Gaza trains for boarding by Israeli Special Forces. Okay, the 6-hour training session in Istanbul is being given by Lisa Fithian. All right, that's that. And then there's more here. Now, this is apparently her organizing it.
I can't help with that. You guys can help with that.
All right, can you see her? Let me just zoom out a little bit. Let's go back to the beginning. So that's her right there on the right-hand side of your screen. That is Lisa Fithian organizing the so-called protests at Columbia. So there we have it. We have the evidence right here. And this lady is so well known. She has written the book, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. All right. So that's part of the book right there. All right. Right there in the back. You can see that. And then that's her, Lisa Fithian, born 1961. So in the 70s, she would have been late teens. So that kind of fits. All right. And right now she's like early 60s. Okay. So we already see what's going on. This thing is organized by outside people. And then my question, the $1 million question as I close would be, why is this being organized? What's the actual purpose? Are they indoctrinating kids, making them think a certain way, feel a certain way, behave a certain way, so then they can go up there and do the exact same thing that Lisa Fithian is doing, coming back to the college campus to rile people up for a political purpose? Are they going to be foot soldiers? Are they going to be cannon fodder? I can't really tell, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that these protests, quote unquote, are organized by outside people? And if so, what's the reason? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. Anytime you see a thing like this, it's almost always some outside people involved. Even if it starts one way, it ends up a different way, because a lot of these young people kind of easily manipulated, soft minds. They're easily infiltrated. Okay, here comes this random lady just telling you to go there, go there, go there, and everybody just does it. That could be what's going on. Or before it started, it could have been a thing that was organized and set up to achieve a certain goal. Is it money they want? Do they want resources? Like, what is the purpose? Are they trying to destabilize the actual college? Is it about somebody getting fired? I don't know, but whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.